Hello! Welcome to the demonstration video for Pro Marketer, the cloud-based app that lets you build and host professional marketing web pages. To get started, let's log in. If this is your first visit, you'll need to create an account first. Provide the email that you used to make your Pro Marketer purchase. Create a password, and then create your account. Once you've done that, then you can log in. Here we are on the Pro Marketer dashboard. From here, you can take advantage of other software offers that we have. And over in the sidebar, you have some other options. If your sidebar is not extended, just click the icon in the top left-hand corner. The dashboard brings you back to this page. The Pages tab is where all the business of Pro Marketer takes place. On the Tutorials tab, you can find helpful tips on how to use Pro Marketer. And the Support tab will bring you to our support desk in case you're having any troubles and you need some help. Let's take a look at the Pages tab. On the Pages tab, we can see all the pages that we're currently working on, and from there we can edit or delete. You can also click the red button to add a new page. Let's do that now. The first step is to give a page name. And let's not be hasty. This is going to serve as the title tag for your web page. So we want to make sure that it's well targeted for SEO. So in this case, let's call it SEO Internet Marketing Professionals. That's going to serve as our keyword. Let's copy that. Now for the SEO, this is where your page is going to be hosted on our servers. So let's go ahead and paste that in, and be aware that the URL cannot contain any symbols or numbers. But let's fill the spaces with some dashes. There we go. And now we can click Save. Here's the new page that we've currently started. Let's go ahead and start editing. Now we can see here's the page URL that we just created. If we wanted to share our web page, this is the URL that we could use. Notice that this is hosted on the promarketerapp.com URL. If you wanted to host this on your own hosting domain, here is the iframe embed code or the embeddable script. You could use these to put your page on any host that you want. And here's a quick preview of the website as it stands already. Since we've only just started, this is just a template that's a placeholder. Let's go ahead and proceed to Page Builder. Now I'm in early access here, so I only have a couple of templates to choose from, but by the time you have access, there'll be many more themes. The options that we have here are to create a brand new web page from scratch, and this will give you a blank canvas that you can start working on. And then there's a variety of themes here that are already pre-assembled. So let's take a look at these designs and see if anything stands out. Okay, so now we've opened the actual editing app here, and you can see all the toolbars are laid out. And here is the first theme that we're looking at. And we can just scroll down and see all the various functions that have already been added to this particular web page. And you could do all this yourself as well by building it from scratch, but it just saves time if you have a template to work from and customize it to your own needs. It's fully responsive. Up in the top left-hand corner, you can see how it appears on a desktop, on a tablet, and on a mobile device, which is really important because a lot of your users are going to be viewing your content on a mobile device. So you'll always want to be checking your page as you go to make sure that it looks good on mobile. As you can see, this one is well optimized already. We'll go back to a full screen on our desktop here. This tab here lets you change your template. Let's just go back and see a couple of the other options. Here's another one of the web pages already pre-designed for you. Again, really nicely designed. And you can view that on a mobile device and see that it's completely responsive. Looks good. And we'll just view the last template before we get into some of the details of the app. Again, really nice features, really well laid out, very professional looking. Okay, and we can see how that looks on a mobile device as well. All right, so in working with the app, we have quite a few options across the top toolbar, as well as in the sidebar here as well. This first tool is quite handy, particularly when you're first starting out, okay? And this is View Outlines. If you click on this tab here, you can see all of the elements on the page get highlighted with this dashed box, and this just makes it a little bit more obvious to see what it is that you're working on. I find this really handy to have turned on when I'm in editing mode. It just makes your navigation a little bit easier. As you can see, without it, everything is just kind of free floating on the screen. With it, everything is a little bit more clearly defined as to what space you have to work in. This is the preview button. This button will allow you to view the website as it's going to appear on the web. So let's go ahead and check out this website here. And you can see this is exactly as it's going to be viewed by your users. To exit preview mode, you have the little cancel preview button here in the top left corner. So let's go ahead and click that to go back to the app interface. Now, I'm actually screen recording my browser right now. And up here in the top, where you can see my mouse is disappearing, I have my address bar and my search bar and all my browser tabs. And that's taking up space at the top of my screen. If we want to, we can click this button here, and this extends the app to full screen. So now we have a little bit more real estate to use and less distraction as we're working on our web page. And when you get really deep into the design, it's nice to have fewer distractions. So I'll be doing most of my work in full screen, but right now, because I'm in my browser screen recording, you're missing all this top part. So I'm going to exit full screen for now, and I'll leave this where you can see all the work that I'm doing with my mouse. This tab here is for code. This opens up the code editor, and if you want, you can input your own code or edit the code that's already here. And this is both HTML and the CSS. You can also export this code to a zip file. And that goes to your downloads folder. And from there, we can unzip our folder, and this will give us the HTML and CSS files. And we can copy that to a notepad. And then I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that momentarily. To do any editing, just click on the box that you want to edit, and then click down to get actually into the text itself. Okay, so if we just wanted to make a minor adjustment here, we could do that. And if you make an error, you can just simply undo. And if you decide that you actually liked the way it looked, you have the redo button here. And this is just handy for trying different things out to see how it looks. The next button that we have on the toolbar is the import button. But before I import anything, let me just clear the canvas with this trash icon. I'm going to click on this, and this is going to erase our page. Now, I have some code here from another page. I'm going to copy that from my notepad, And now I'm going to import this and paste. And then we can import. And this imports the entire page with all of its elements intact. And you'll recognize this. This is one of the themes that I showed you just a few moments ago. And we can just check to make sure it's responsive. And it came over completely intact. And this button here, I showed you a little bit earlier, but just to remind you, this allows you to change template. This takes you back to the template chooser, and from there you can choose a template. And if you want to make any changes, you can do that. And then here you can save your template changes. The next button in the toolbar is the Style Manager, and you can click that to open it, or just click on any element of the page and the Style Manager automatically opens. And this gives you all of the various editing tools that you need to adjust this particular element. So here you've got the General tab that allows you to align this left or right or centered. You have display options that allow you to display inline block or just inline or blocked or flex or none. We'll restore that to inline block. You can also adjust its position by pixel, percentage, or viewport height. There is also a layout tab that allows you to adjust the width and height, and set margins for the top, as well as the sides or bottom. Just undo those. And we can also adjust the padding, which is less obvious, but you'll see the scroll bar here extend when I adjust this. You can see the padding adjustment there. Undo that. The Typography tab allows you to change the font family. We've got over a dozen of the most popular web fonts here, so you can change this as you like. With a variety of modifiers, so you can change the weight, spacing, and font size, font color, line height, and alignment. There is also a tab for decorations. So in this, we can adjust our border for our button. We can adjust the color. And we also have the ability to adjust the border radius in the separate corners as well. So if we just wanted one of those corners to be rounded, we could do little fold backs like this. Just to stylize our buttons a little bit more. And we can also adjust the border width. And set the border style for solid, dotted, dashed, double border, a grooved border, ridged, inset, and outset, and set the border color. So a variety of decorative options there. We can set the box shadow. So here we'll set the shadow horizontal and vertical. And we can set the blur and the spread. And we can change the color to whatever we want. And set the box shadow for inside or outside. Let's just undo those changes. And a tab for extras. So this allows you to modify the perspective, and transform functions that allow you to rotate the elements in a variety of perspectives, so you can give it 3D depth. You can play with this as much as you like. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. And then again, if you don't like the way it looks, you can just undo and back out to where it did look good. Let's close the Style Manager for now. And the next tool in our toolbar is the Trait Manager. And this allows you to modify the component settings. So for in this case here, we have a download link, and this leads to our hyperlink here. And this allows us to adjust whether it opens in a new window or in the same window. And then we also have a hierarchy menu, which we can open. And this shows us that on our page we have 50 elements and the order in which they're layered. And you can see in some cases we have multiple layers. For example, in this section here, we've got 2 layers, and we can twirl down here to see within this layer, this box contains 4 elements, and here's the text, and text within the text. Here's a box with links within it, and user interface elements. And you can reorder the hierarchy just by dragging them around to reorder. I'll undo that. And then there's a visible icon here that you can use to remove sections from view, just to see how it looks with those sections removed. And then bring them back in to see how it looks. So the next tool in our toolbar is in the top right hand corner, and this is the actual Page Elements tool. And this gives us a variety of tools that we can simply drag and drop from the toolbar onto our page. So for example, let's just scroll down a bit here. Let's say we wanted to add a single column here between features and get started. We could just drag that to where we want it and drop. And that gives us a single column here that we can now modify. Let's remove that with the undo button. And let's see what it looks like with 2 or 3 columns. Actually, I like this 2 columns that are offset. Let's try that one. Okay, so my elements are hidden right now. Let me turn on my element outline button here. And you can see now my elements are outlined with the dashed line, so I can see more clearly. Here's my offset 2 columns. Now we can choose text, and we can drop some text into one of those. And we'll drop some text over here as well. We can also drag something over here and put in a link. And then to edit this link, we'll want to go to the Trait Manager, which is here. And we can put in our target here. And open that in a new window. And we'll give this a title. We'll call it Google. Okay. And you can see down here in the bottom corner, my link is now pointing towards Google. Let's see what other functions we have to add here. We can add images. Just drag that over and drop it down. Now we can either drop files here, drag and drop, or click to upload. And upload our files here, and then just select the image that we want. You can see that places our image in line. Or, alternately, if we have the image already on the web, we can just paste our path to it and add that image and select that image to add. Once you have your image added, you can make adjustments to it. And over in the sidebar, we have the Style Manager. We can make all of our adjustments here as well, same as we've already seen. And a good habit is to go to the Trait Manager and provide your alt text here. So this is for SEO. So we'd want to say SEO professionals. Internet marketing. And these are our keyword terms that we're focusing on for this web page. We can also add video. So here we can just drag that, drop that in, and then go to the Trait Manager. And here we can specify whether this is an HTML5 source, or if it's a YouTube with no cookie, or Vimeo. So let's add a YouTube here. And the video ID we can just get from our YouTube URL, and that will be this code here within the YouTube URL. And we can set that to either autoplay and loop. We can choose to conceal the controls. We can remove the related videos at the end so that it keeps the viewers focused on ours. And there's also a modest feature. Once you're happy with your settings, then you can switch over to Style Manager and make any style improvements that you want. Or you can just simply click on the box and drag to expand it to fill the space that you want to fill. And let's see what other tools we want to add. Okay, we also have maps. This is a really handy one, particularly for local businesses. Once you drag and drop your map, you'll want to click on the element and then go to Trait Manager. And here you can input your address and set the level of zoom. And we can set this for either satellite or road map. And some other features that we have here are link blocks. So we can input a link block here and then go to the Trait Manager to let it know where we're linking to. And open in the same window or a new window. Typically, we're probably always going to want to open in a new window so we don't lose our client. And we also have a quotation box that we can put. And so here we can input whichever inspiring quote we want our clients to be reading on our site. And we can also input another text section here as well. So this is complete with a subtitle, and these are also tracked for SEO. This would be a header. So this would be very good to input with your focus keyword. And then whatever text you plan to put in underneath to describe your services. And let's take a look at some other elements that we can add. We can add a navigation bar. This is a menu. So we've got our home and about and contact pages, and we can customize this as well. And we can go to the trait manager to adjust our text and our links. And again, in this case, we would want to open probably in this window. We wouldn't want to open same page tabs within new windows. So that would be within this window. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, we also have a countdown timer, and these are cool. Very handy for internet marketing. So for this one, once you add it, click on the main box here, and then go to your trait manager, and it says start, but this would actually be your countdown time that you want to count down to. So let's count down till, say, the end of the month here. And instantly it sets your countdown timer. And then you can modify your end text to whatever you want to say, what have you. And then we'll just take a look. Here's an expired counter. So that's what it will look like when it's expired. But you could also put other text here. Not too late. Just an extra $1. So whatever it is that you're promoting, this is really handy to have. Let's see what other elements we have here. We also have a variety of forms. So here we can drag a form in, and let's just click in the form, and again go to the trait manager, and oh, I'm not in the form. There we go. There we are in the form. Go to the trait manager, and we can set the methods, post or get, actions. Here within the fields, we can go to the traits and modify the example text. And the type, we can say whether this is a text or an email, a password or a number. And with that, then they can have some input here with the counters. If this were a password, it would obscure. And we can also check mark whether this is a required field or not. We can do that for each of these fields. Just go back to the trait selector to modify the traits. And then we also have a variety of forms that we can input. Forms input text, select, buttons, labels, checkboxes, and radio buttons. So you can see that there's a variety of functions that you can build your web page to anything that you want to build, and a variety of beautiful templates that are ready to go with just a bit of basic customization. I hope you found this overview helpful. Thank you very much for purchasing ProMarketer app.